Angela with the CDC calling in regards to your
Julia.
recent... Next message.
Hey, sorry for taking so long to get back to you. I've just been doing my own thing. Shit is crazy, dude. I haven't left my place at all. Apparently you can even get it from touching the same sanitizer as someone else. I don't know. I keep seeing stories of people hanging out and shit. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, do you want to die? I don't know, man. It's scary. Anyways, I hope you're doing well and taking care of yourself. Love you. Can't wait to see you again. Delete.
I just have to start by saying that that was one of the most eerily true to life things I've ever seen. I think you just really, really nailed the way that some people live, in just an absolutely uncanny way that felt almost utterly indiscernible from real life. Brilliantly written, fantastically acted. This was really wonderful. It was so funny. I honestly was enjoying every second of this. I loved the production design. If it was production design, it almost felt like, you were just taking a lived in space and using it. And if that wasn't the case, amazing. Just the story itself felt like, the kind of thing that any fool could sort of stumble into. Just all the distractions, everything really just came together to feel like an amazingly realistic portrait of this guy who I feel like I know so much better than I think I would ever actually want to. Really, really fantastic work on this. Again, just loved every second of it.
Capturing the sheer chaos of Matthew's mind and his life. At times it feels like you're watching a car crash. You want to look away because it's so painful. But it's just too gripping. You can't stop watching. You have to see where it all goes. It's funny enough as well to kind of keep you hooked and to keep you watching as disastrous as it kind of feels like it's going. And it also builds that awkward tension really well. You're expecting him to have some awkward interactions, some painful interactions. And there's that kind of subtle suggestion that he's being scammed throughout the whole film. When that dawns on him, that's going to be really painful. It all just keeps adding that tension, which kind of builds that feeling of, the car crash of the film. It's going to end badly, but you just have to keep watching and find out. I think there's also an interesting idea in there as well about our kind of carelessness with regards to illness and spreading illness, which again, obviously, is a very pertinent thing. I thought was done quite acervically. So, yeah.
I really liked the handheld, high energy, high motion visual vocabulary, the cinematography, because I think it really added to the urgency and to the tension. It made me really feel it in a visceral way, which speaks to how well it was used. Also, that the actor's performance, excellent, excellent. I really felt for him and I also really like the concept. I think there's a lot of pandemic films or films about like the pandemic or films that take place during the pandemic, short films that take place during the pandemic, but I've never seen one that takes it from this angle like this, and I really like that. I thought it was refreshing.
The cinematography on this was so crisp and clear. Just the depth of the colors and everything was spot on. It was lovely to watch. The story of this was so incredible. I mean, everything that was happening to this guy and what he was going through was great. And they told it really well too. Going back, they made it very, very clear, like what was a flashback from before, what he's kind of not remembering happened, to what was happening in the present. So the filmmakers did a really artful job of making a very clear, concise story that had a beginning, middle, and end. And the actors were great. The lead actor that was in this was absolutely fantastic and very, very, all of it was very, very believable. And the music was a great choice. Very angsty for what was happening. I liked it.
This is a reflection of the pandemic. The response to it, people are washing their groceries, half-ass wearing masks, scammers are out galore, drinking like mad. The story is messy. There's humor and sadness. Our character here is having a not so good, very bad day. He tested positive for an STD. His Amazon was charged for over 10K worth of items. He's putting hot water in his plants rather than his mug. Water spilling over from the sink. The list goes on, right? And he's gullible for it. He's falling into the madness. And eventually his story leads him to his friend's place where he just holds his masks and hops around the truth. He asks to borrow money. His friends asks if he's using drugs. Concern for him. And then after this whole time, it's revealed that he's also has tested positive for COVID and therefore has been passing around this disease to everyone he crosses paths with. And so I can honestly say I've done my best to try to avoid pandemic stories being told just as of yet, but this does represent a traumatized, dramatized version of what sort of chaos can ensue.
It was like kind of a reality style filming, I guess. It just felt really raw. Like I was just watching this guy who was a hot mess, like just getting taken for a ride here. Like it just made me laugh so much at the end. Like I didn't know at first, like I said, what I was watching or even if I would like it. And it just like took me for a fun ride. And I ended up really liking this at the end with the lady's voice at the end. Great job, Matthew. Just it's so funny to me. It's such a simple thing that we've all struggled with as far as, is this person for real? Am I getting scammed right now? Or this guy just kind of goes with it. I guess because he's, I don't know, hungover, coming off drugs, on the cocaine. This guy's like a hot mess all over the place getting scammed by this girl. And it's like the only thing he's kind of consistent with through this whole film. I don't know. It's just, you can't even really describe this. It was just really fun. And I thought it was really well done because it did make me feel like I was just on the ride with him. Like there was a video following him around and he just seemed to have he just so wanted to get this taken care of. And he was totally getting taken himself.
People are trying to introduce kind of COVID into movies as not necessarily like the main component, but a component, as we're all trying to figure out life post a global pandemic and, you know, what that kind of looks like. So not saying that COVID didn't have a large role in this film, but it wasn't like the main pulling focus. It was a big contributing factor, but it wasn't like the main thing that was being focused on. Obviously, waking up after a bender like that, you have several things that you're trying to figure out and resettle and reorganize. I liked how they kind of spaced it through with the voicemails, trying to just figure out what had happened in the last night, the last 2 or 3 nights, because I think that everybody watching it quickly realized that this call that he's on is red flags left, right, and center. So I really liked it. I thought that they had a lot of fun with that, and they really showed his character of like just really not thinking things through and not thinking of other people at all, and they continue to show that throughout this whole film, which I really liked, instead of them just like outright saying it.